A U.S. Navy helicopter fires on a cargo ship trying to break the blockade in Iran. Time for the Streamline. Everything you need to know in 10 minutes or less. The strike happened in the Strait of Hormuz. The military says the civilian crew ignored repeated warnings. The White House is enforcing the blockade as a way to put economic pressure on Iran and force negotiations on a peace deal. Iran says the strait will remain closed until all conditions of their latest demands are met. Those include the U.S. withdrawing its troops and paying for the cost of the war. President Trump says the situation is, quote, absolutely fine, and the U.S. has total control over the strait. Meanwhile, gas prices are back on the rise this morning. In San Diego, a gallon of regular, on average, is now $5.69. That is up 1 cent overnight. Nationally, there was a bigger jump, with prices rising 3 cents for an average of $4.04 a gallon. And President Trump is opening up about a secret mission to sneak him out of Turkey. It happened last month following the NATO summit. U.S. intelligence warned of a possible Iranian missile attack on Air Force One. The president boarded the plane in front of cameras and then snuck into a catering truck to leave on a separate military jet. Staff and reporters stayed on Air Force One as decoys. They did not know about the threat. They also did not know the president was not aboard. Reporters asked the president why they were left in danger.
Why was it too dangerous for you to fly on Air Force One, but not?
I don't know. I think actually the plane that I flew on was at greater risk. I think it was at greater risk.
The president says the decoy operation was not his call. Democrats are demanding the White House brief Congress about the ruse. Presidents have traveled covertly before, but the press usually has some awareness of the plans.
Primary results are rolling in across several states this morning. In South Carolina, the late Senator Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene, advanced to a Republican primary runoff. She was appointed to Graham's seat after his death and now wants to take the Senate spot full-time. In Wisconsin, a big upset in the governor's race. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley defeated Democratic Socialist candidate Francesca Hong. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, MyPillow founder Mike Lindell lost the Republican primary for governor. Lisa DeMuth won that race. She'll now take on Senator Amy Klobuchar in November. Deadly storms are tearing across the Midwest today. At least 3 people have been killed. In Indiana, a 4-year-old boy died when a tree crashed into a home. Another person was killed in a house explosion near the southern tip of Lake Michigan. Officials believe weather caused that blast. The storms have also triggered flash flooding in Ohio. One person died after floodwaters kept emergency crews from reaching them. Hundreds of thousands of people lost power across the Midwest. Those outages, officials say, could last for days. More storms are expected today from St. Louis to Indianapolis. A desperate search for survivors is underway in Colombia after the most powerful earthquake in a decade. The death toll has soared past 200. There are some miracles in the rubble, though. Rescuers pulled a newborn baby boy alive from a collapsed 5-story building. He only had minor cuts and bruises. His mother also survived. An army of volunteers is digging through debris, some of them with their bare hands and buckets. They're working nonstop and saying every minute counts. On Monday, we told you about a San Diego restaurant that's collecting supplies to send to Colombia. ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo went back to the restaurant to see the flood of support from their neighbors.
As urgent rescue operations continue in Colombia after the 7.4 earthquake Monday,
we've been receiving everything. I mean, whatever you have is very welcome.
So do the efforts to help from afar. Tuesday, the restaurant Antojitos Colombianos started collecting supplies to send to the country, accepting everything like diapers, non-perishable food items, toiletries, and hygiene products.
It made me feel good because now I see as a community how together we can do something about it, you know.
Marcela Guerrero stopped by the restaurant Tuesday afternoon. She has family throughout Colombia, but all are safe.
It was awful because I remember exactly the 1999 earthquake.
Guerrero lived in Colombia in 1999 when the country had another devastating 6.2 earthquake in Armenia. Over 1,000 people were killed in that quake.
I was washing the dishes when it started shaking everything. And I went down under the sink everything in my apartment fell at that time.
Guerrero says this time around, the city suffered less damage due to improved building standards after the '99 quake.
No, there were no structures that fell, and there is no death tolls in there, because literally the old earthquake saved us for this one, or prepare us for this one.
Separate from the donation drive at Antojitos, the Colombian consulate in LA tells me people can donate money directly to the Colombian Red Cross. The House of Colombia at Balboa Park also has a GoFundMe page collecting monetary donations that will then go to the Red Cross. In Sherman Heights, Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
A hate crime investigation is underway at UC San Diego. Police are searching for the people who vandalized an off-campus fraternity house. We've blurred the images they spray painted on, but investigators say someone broke into the home in University City sometime between Friday and Saturday and tagged anti-Semitic and racial slurs on the inside and outside walls. Crime Stoppers is now offering a $2,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Meanwhile, UC San Diego's chancellor released a statement condemning the incident. It reads in part, quote, "To have a residence vandalized with swastikas and other discriminatory language is abhorrent and unacceptable. We condemn this vile act and will not accept hate or anti-Semitism toward anyone in our community."
Credit card debt is nearing an all-time high. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, outstanding balances are just shy of $1.28 trillion. The record set last year. Experts say high interest rates and inflation driving all of this. A recent poll shows that nearly half of Americans say the cost of groceries is a major source of stress. To tackle the mounting debt, experts recommend taking inventory of your interest rates. You can also look into balanced transfer cards or lower interest personal loans.
Look up when you leave the house. 3 major interstellar spectacles will happen today. Early birds can see a parade of 6 planets before sunrise. Europe is going to get a total solar eclipse in the early part of the afternoon. Most of that path of totality that we all love to talk about is across Spain. People on the east coast of the U.S., they'll get to see a partial eclipse. And finally, the Perseid meteor shower will peak tonight. If the clouds clear, you could see up to 75 meteors an hour away from city lights. Pretty exciting stuff to see if you like that kind of